2026 and 2027, two very important years. They are different from anything we have experienced so far. I have received many messages from the spirit world over all the years, but what I was shown for these years touches me deeply. These 2 years bring us to a point that we can no longer ignore. I saw a complete shift in how we see and feel reality. This will not be quiet years, but they will be very important. We can already see that the masks are falling. But the real intentions behind what has been happening on this earth for thousands of years are only now beginning to show themselves fully. In this video, I will share with you what I have received for 2026 and 2027. And if you feel that you no longer resonate with the old world, if you sense that your system is already shifting, then stay with me till the end, because it will be very exciting what we have to expect. But first, a warm welcome to you on my YouTube channel. And if you would like to be informed, you can subscribe to my free newsletter. There I share weekly updates and important information about how to prepare yourself for the upcoming shifts. In the next 2 years, there will be events that will shake the world. They are important for the deep change we are all going through. 2026 will be the year of realignment and inner clarity. You may realize I cannot continue the way I have before. Your decisions in the coming years will carry a completely different vibration and may bring a real question of survival, both inside and outside. Many have already begun to lose their sense of stability in their work, in their social environment, and in their trust in systems like healthcare or education. And for more and more people, it becomes painfully clear. I can no longer pretend that I belong in this system. And I can no longer hold up something that no longer feels real. But inside this feeling of darkness, there is also the power, because you are being pushed or gently invited to remember who you are, to remember your truth, your frequency, your inner path. It is a process of letting go, not out of rejection, but out of truth. And you are not alone, because exactly in this phase, small points of light being to appear everywhere. People who recognize each other, people who hold each other without needing to explain themselves, because they simply resonate together. And maybe right now you feel you were never too sensitive. You were just too clear for a reality that could no longer hold itself. And if you feel overwhelmed because of this inner process, that's okay. Your system knows exactly what it is doing. You do not need to understand it all right away. You can simply stay present and trust the process. The first visible answers will begin to emerge for you in 2026, not through structures or the old system, but through a new way of being that feels freer and more intuitive. What is coming does not begin with a tragedy. It begins with a quiet, unwavering yes in your heart. 2026 will bring many people to a point of no return, a moment when they realize, no one is coming to save me, not a government, not a movement, not an institution. The call for truth becomes louder, but no longer as a cry for justice from the outside, but as a clear, quiet knowing from within. More and more people feel that they have to choose now what they believe in, who they trust, and what they are here to stand for. And this inner call becomes louder. It shows itself in the ability to hold your own space even when the world outside becomes chaotic, because this we will see. And it shows in the willingness to take full responsibility for your own frequency. On the world stage, this becomes more and more also visible. Governments appear increasingly overwhelmed. Decisions seem unclear, contradictory, or guided by something that has nothing to do with the people. Many are stepping back from any kind of political system, not out of apathy, but because they realize this is no longer my path. And at the same time, new movements are starting to grow. Small groups, quiet communities, networks that do not need to be loud, but carry real impulses of change. The new earth is not born through a system collapse, but through a quiet shift in frequency, felt in the energy field. The question is no longer who is right. The real question is, what feels true to me? Which frequency feels aligned with my heart? This kind of inner sovereignty is not dramatic, but it is very strong. And it is exactly the strength that will carry us through the next years. Because without inner clarity, this new time cannot truly be lived. What already started to intensify in 2024 and 2025 reaches a new level of visibility in 2026. The rising tension in the Middle East, especially between Iran, Israel, and the United States, will be very important. This becomes part of the global nervous system of the world. Because the world is watching, not only because of the danger of this explosive military conflict, but because the emotional and energetic charge of this region touches something deep in the collective karma field. It is about identity, old wounds, and it is about power and control. And this is connected to the end of religious control as we have known it. Because what we are seeing, what plays there out in the Middle East, is the collapse of power structures in the name of religion that have ruled for thousands of years. And many of the major religions are losing now their influence because the people understand that they are misused. Those rituals, those belief systems are misused for control and by using guilt, fear, and separation. 2026 and 2027 are years in which more and more people begin to step out of these systems, not with anger, because of clarity. The connection to source, to creation, to the higher worlds becomes more real. And so those old systems, they lose their power. and especially in the Middle East, where religion and politics have long been deeply connected, this breakdown becomes very visible. Because we are all people, we are all part of a human big family. And people feel this, they experience there is no difference between black and white, red and yellow, or what else. And we will see that those old institutions, they have no more power. And at the same time, it is becoming more and more clear that global events that we see here on Earth are not random. They are being planned and directed by forces that prefer to stay hidden. Intelligence services like the Mossad, the CIA, and other hidden structures have been shaping global events for decades. And more people begin to see through it. They no longer operate quietly in the background because the frequency no longer allows things to stay hidden. Their involvement in media, in economics, in military actions and psychological manipulation is becoming harder to deny. What becomes clear in 2026 and 2027 is that many of those so-called conflicts around the world are not just reactions. None of it is by chance. These agencies no longer run secret missions. They shape our entire worldview. With provocations, with false flag events, with staged revolutions and deep psychological control. They keep the world in fear and division. These organizations have been working in the shadows for many decades, but now the surface is starting to break. More and more people are beginning to see the truth. Wars do not happen because people hate each other. They happen because systems are set up to turn them against one another. Many of the current escalations worldwide are not simply spontaneous developments. They are the result of long-term hidden operations, strategically planned, presented in the media, and designed to keep the world in a state of fear and shock. Because a person who lives in fear stops asking questions, they obey. Over the next 2 years, this mechanism will stop working for more and more people, not for all, but for more and more. The official stories feel empty. The distraction loses its effect. And people begin to ask, what is really behind the power structures we have trusted for so long? The assassination of John F. Kennedy, long dismissed as the act of a lone madman, is now becoming for many a symbol of what happens when someone stands up against the hidden government. The Jeffrey Epstein network makes it even clearer. It is not only about money. It is about power and control through blackmail, abuse, and a system built on silence. And these networks reach far into governments, corporations, media companies, and deep into the music and entertainment industry. And at the center of all of this, the intelligence services. It all runs through them. The so-called deep state is collapsing, not because it is being exposed, but because this kind of control no longer resonates with the frequencies of the new earth. And as the structure falls apart, another hidden truth begins to rise. The long-held collaboration between governments, military forces, and non-human technologies. What was once called science fiction is now becoming real for more and more people. Research programs like Area 51, projects like Solar Warden or anti-gravity vehicles, they are no myths, but part of this new agenda based on reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology. Free energy, zero-point field propulsion, frequency-based healing. These systems were not only studied, some were already used, but not for the benefit of all. They were kept hidden in the hands of a few. 2026 and 2027 will be the years where these topics can no longer be pushed aside. Not because governments are ready to speak about them, but because the collective field of humanity is ready to make contact with other civilizations beyond this planet. This truth can no longer be controlled, because it has already awakened inside you. I do not see a third world war, but what is unfolding now is a different kind of world war, a multidimensional one, economic, digital, psychological, and spiritual. It is a war over consciousness. The United States are reaching a critical point. In economic stability, this will be very challenging years in 2026 and 2027. Internal tensions, social unrest, and a growing loss of trust in the government and institutions are creating a deep split within the country. Whether Donald Trump will actually be in office or not becomes less important. His presence continues to be a symbol for the battle between old power and a new order. More and more people are stepping away from mainstream politics and searching for new paths, not based on power but on connection. And this is where the true potential lies. The new world does not begin with a collapse, but with a quiet withdrawal from the old one. It reflects what we can no longer suppress inside, and it challenges us to become frequency holders, not through fighting, but through clarity. The next years will show us where digital currencies are really going, and where people will begin to draw a very clear inner line. What will start in 2025 with more test runs on digital money and new systems run mainly by artificial intelligence will be taken to the next step in 2026 and 2027. The rules for digital money will become stricter. Some countries will already move to digital-only payments for certain things. At the same time, cash will slowly disappear. But control does not come through laws, it comes through convenience. Reward systems, automatic tax setups, digital ID cards, at first it all seems helpful. But the price will be high. It will bring full transparency. Every step, every payment, every move could be tracked. Artificial intelligence will also take over more decisions in 2026 and 2027. In job applications, in healthcare, in your daily life. But something else is also rising. More people begin to feel the need to step out of this system. They start to build new ways of trading, sharing, and living outside of official systems. Two different worlds begin to grow, One is fully digital and controlled. The other one is conscious, free, and based on self-responsibility. Elon Musk continues to be a key figure in all of this. Behind him are networks of economic, political, and transhuman power. His projects like Neuralink, Starlink, and the use of artificial intelligence in governments and global companies are moving into a new phase in the next 2 years. Neuralink is already being tested in some countries, first for helping people with injuries, but also in the military. In the United States, there are first tests with people who can send thoughts directly into machines. And in some areas, secret programs are running that use real-time tracking through satellites and smart devices. But Elon Musk is not the only one. Other companies, some funded behind the scenes, are working on similar things. Artificial intelligence that can predict behavior on social media. Microchips placed into the body for identification or for digital payments. And digital avatars that learn how you think, how you talk, and how you act. And they may one day make decisions for you. 2026 and 2027 mark a turning point. It is the first time that many people truly feel technology is not just changing how we live, it is beginning to shape how we think, how we feel, and how we make choices. And that is exactly the point where more and more people begin to say, this does not feel right anymore. With all the progress, there is one question you should always come back to. Does this feel like hard energy or like control? We will see in the next 2 years more and more people will step away, not only with loud protest, but with a quiet decision to no longer play this old game. The real danger is not technology itself, but what it reflects back to us when we limit the awareness we bring into it. Because if we fill artificial intelligence with fear, it will reflect fear. If we fill it with control, it will reflect control. Technology is not the enemy. It simply shows us where we are still not free. 2026 and 2027 are not only years of decision, they are also years when your body begins to speak, clearly, directly, and without holding back. Not soft anymore, not just a gentle whisper, but strong, direct, and sometimes uncomfortable. Because your body will no longer support a frequency that does not belong to you. It does not fight against you, it speaks for you. It shows you where you are out of alignment, where you are bending yourself, where you are disconnecting from your own truth. Many people do not feel this shift first through their thoughts, but through physical symptoms. You can do all the right things, meditate, eat good, think positively, but if you're not living your truth, your body will say, not like this. The new frequencies arriving on Earth through solar activity, collective energy shifts, and through your own soul awakening are now working directly on your nervous system, your cells, and your energy field. And wherever you are still holding on to something old, your body starts to push back. This can show up as deep exhaustion, even when you feel like you have done nothing. or growing inner restlessness, nervous tension without any clear reason in your outside world. Your back, especially the lower back, may start to hurt as old survival patterns rise to the surface. You may feel pressure in your head or tightness in your neck, often when new soul impulses are trying to come through, but you are still resisting them. Digestive issues can appear because old emotional energies can no longer be processed or held inside. And your skin may also react with itching, rashes, or sensitivity when your energy field is trying to protect itself. And then there is the sleep. For many, it no longer feels like rest. They wake up feeling like they have been somewhere else, between dimensions or across timelines, because they have. At night, your soul goes through trainings, energetic updates, and deep inner work. And when you return, your body remembers, even if your mind does not. But all of this is not a mistake. It is not an illness. It is a sign that your body is no longer passive. It is not a victim of your spiritual growth. It is your soul speaking through your body. And the clearer you become, the more your body will speak to you with ease, not through pain, but through resonance. The body was never the true cause of any problem in your life. And now, in this new time, it becomes your most sensitive guidance system. For many people, the next 2 years will be a time when reality begins to shift completely. Not because the earth is changing, but because you are starting to resonate with a different version of earth. A version where other frequencies become active, where new experiences are possible, and where you begin to resonate with different people, while others shift into different layer of reality. Many people notice that their relationships begin to change. Conversations feel like there is no connection. Familiar people suddenly feel distant. It is not that they are gone, but that you are no longer vibrating on the same line of reality. Timelines are not separating outside of you. They are separating through your frequency choice. The light body continues to work in quiet, subtle layers, but the way your body responds to your light body becomes more intense, more direct, and more physical. Your nervous system, your energy processing, your sensitivity, your intuition, all of it is being adjusted. And that can feel like tiredness, disorientation, emotional swings. Not because something is wrong, but because you are not only leaving behind old patterns, you are stepping out of entire layers of reality. Ascension does not take you somewhere else. It is not about escaping. It is about fully landing in the version of Earth that aligns with your frequency. And this decision is not made once. It is made again and again in every moment. The connection to our star beings and our spiritual guides and multidimensional realities is becoming stronger, without needing proof, without needing explanation. You simply know, and that inner knowing creates a new kind of stability. You feel the connection, and they begin to show themselves to you more and more clearly. At the same time, disinformation is growing stronger. Even now, there are stories being spread that extraterrestrials are a danger to humanity. And in 2026, these efforts may reach a new level. Media campaigns, so-called leaks, and warning voices from experts, all of it with the goal to twist the truth and to fill the collective field with fear. Because when people live in fear, they can be controlled. And few things create more panic than the idea that a more advanced intelligence might be dangerous. But this story is losing power. More and more people are waking up because they already feel their own connection. Because deep down they know this connection to our star siblings is not based on fear. It is based in remembrance. What still looks like a strong wall in 2026 will start to fall apart, not just in the news, but in the collective field of consciousness. The truth cannot be held back any longer. 2026 and 2027 will be a time of energetic correction, not because of one single big event, but through a series of impulses that rise and grow over time. One of the strongest physical signs will be massive floods. But unlike previous years, they will not be local or limited. We will see global shifts in water. Rivers will change their path. Coastlines may lose land within days. Some areas will become permanently uninhabitable, especially in Southeast Asia, parts of Africa and Central America. But also in Europe, unexpected floods may occur. Even in areas that felt safe for a long time, a strong solar storm, most likely in the second half of 2026 or early 2027, may cause global technology disruptions. Not everywhere, but strongly felt. It could disturb the Earth's magnetic field, interrupt GPS and satellite systems, and feel like an energetic shock to the nervous system. For some it will bring confusion, sleepless nights and shaking. For others it will bring deep clarity, the release of old patterns or even sudden memories of cosmic origins. In the same time frame, I also see a strong possibility for a large tectonic event, most likely in the Pacific region, and maybe an earthquake that does more than shake the land. It opens something in the collective field. It breaks a structure, not to destroy, but to open a new path. And as with all predictions, it does not have to happen exactly this way, but the probability is very present. The collective field is in motion, and every prediction is a reading of what is currently active in the frequency. Change is always possible. We are going to walk through the next 2 years with strength, because we are ready, even if sometimes we feel we can't handle more chaos. But what really matters is to live your life from an energetic awareness, to know how powerful you truly are as a creator of your own world. You are here now for a reason, to hold the field, to prepare the space, so that others may also find their way into the new world. You are needed. Do not give up, even when people you love must leave, because we will see that a lot of people will leave planet Earth. There is no safer place than being right here, right now. Please remember. The earth invites you to be part of this big transformation, because you are important, because you are good, because you are right where you belong, and you are beginning to remember who you truly are. So thank you so much for listening. Share this video, and do not forget, I will love you always and ever.